So we get asked a lot, what is LiveScope? LiveScope's a technology that Garmin came out with, and it's a forward shooting sonar technology. And what the difference between that forward shooting sonar is that it literally in real time will shoot in any direction that you want it to shoot, at any distance that you want it to shoot. And we can in real time see the fish swimming, our lure. We can watch the fish come attack a lure. We can in real time watch the movement of our lure. And that's different from traditional sonars that just go below the boat and send a signal back, and that information's old information. So now instead of old information, we got real-time information. LiveScope transducer shoots out at a 20-degree angle forward, but it has 3 different rays. One that shoots forward, one that shoots down, and one that shoots a little bit back for total coverage of about 130 degrees. So when you're looking at your screen, the 0 point is where you're at on the trolling motor. We have our transducer mounted on a trolling motor. You can mount it on a pole, but we have ours on a trolling motor. This distance on the x-axis is the distance out that we're looking. We can adjust it closer or further out. Right now we're ranging in about that 80-foot range. And you got your downrange and your y-axis, and we can adjust that. Now it comes in auto settings where the processors adjust on its own, but I like to set mine in a fixed setting because I want to see to scale what's going on with these fish. In other words, I got 5 foot between 20 to 25 foot. There's a 5 foot distance in this grid. If the scale is always adjusting, it's going to be harder for me to be able to determine the size of fish that I'm targeting. So I like to have that in a controlled system. One interesting thing when you're looking at forward shooting sonar is this transducer shoots at a 20-degree cone forward. So at 0 point, this is right at the trolling motor. We have our transducer mounted on a trolling motor so we can chase fish and react with our feet. You can mount it on a pole. You can mount it several different ways. You could ice fish with it, have it on a pole. You can mount it on a dock pole. There's different ways, but right now we're having this is our transducer on our trolling motor at 0 point. So as he looks forward, or if he looks left and right, this is the distance out. This is the distance directly below the boat. And this distance actually here is behind the boat. It's shooting a little bit behind the boat. So right here you got a school of fish, and you've actually got Shane's bait right here about to come through. Now they're only 25 foot from the boat, but a lot of times you can tell fish behavior by just their movement. These fish are schooled up, they're moving, they're active, they're searching, they're looking for something. They're on the warmer side of the lake, they're on the side that the wind's blowing on. So there's a good chance that that group of fish, they're all smaller fish, nothing giant in there at all by any means, but there's a good chance that those guys are, willing to bite. Now the way they're stacked tall, to be honest with you, I don't know that they're all bass. They could be more like crappie, but the movement tells me that they're bass. Crappie don't move as much like that. So a couple of the more advanced settings that you can play with. Standard, out of the box, you're gonna have a gain adjustment. The gain adjustment is basically the processor telling it what information across the entire screen. As you notice, as I turn this up, the whole screen brightens, picking up the dirt particles and just everything that's in the water. Right? Before I really go to adjusting my gain, I'm going to go into menu and I'm going to change my color gain, which is the gain of the return of the objects that I'm getting. So I'm going to go into my sonar setup, my appearance, and color gain. See how this has it set on default? I'm actually going to kick that thing up pretty high. I'm going to go into the 90s. And you're going to see right here how those returns, see how they diminish when I turn it down? And when I turn it up, see how they start getting brighter? That helps me identify fish, especially as I'm fishing further out or deeper in the water column. Right now, it's really important. These fish are finicky. It's really important that we see them from a long distance so we see them before they see us. And so we're taking advantage of our color gain, turn it up to around 90. And then I'll adjust my gain based off of that. See how much brighter return? See, we're able to pick up these fish that are a lot closer now. And see, I can see its tail from its head. So that's one of the main settings that I do. Now, specifically today, we're talking about Garmin's LiveScope. Now, there's several different appearances, but there's 3 main appearances that I use for different purposes. That's the copper, the amber, and the black emerald. I'm going to show you how to change these. In your Garmin, you're going to go into Menu, Sonar Setup, Appearance, Color Scheme, and then you got the various options. You got amber, copper, black emerald, midnight blue, and so forth. These are the 3 that are my preferred, the amber, copper, and black emerald. Black emerald I'll use when I'm looking deep or shooting out really far. If I want to shoot 100 feet out, you can see the bright return that you get with that lure. If I'm looking in a cover, I don't want as much of return on everything. So instead of going through and changing a whole bunch of settings, I can simply change to copper, and you can see it dulls everything down a little bit. Now today, in the environment that we're under, we're actually utilizing amber at the moment. The reason is you get that nice crisp return along the bottom, and we're able to actually, there's a lot of fish that are hugging tighter. As I'm sitting here, I can see these tight fish that are tight to the bottom. You can see the return a lot better under the amber color scheme. And if you think about it, it's just the processor in the computer converting that information to make these color schemes. So it stands to reason that some color schemes would work in various conditions over others.
Uh-oh. He's following it.
Got him.
Oh, this is a good one.
Big, big, big one. Did we get one? Did we get him?
He came off.
We got a 10. We got a 10. Look at the length on that sucker. Wintertime giant bass. LiveScoping.